أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are doing great. Today inshallah we're going to study about haruf Ataff, which are certain haruf that serve the function of connecting different words or phrases, sentences or paragraphs with each other. Okay, so in English we have conjunctions and here they are called haruf Ataff. Okay, so let's begin. First of all, with the concept. Here you can see that I have written their definition, rough definition. Alright, so these are the words that connect either phrases, words, sentences, or paragraphs with each other. Here we have a classical example of a jumla ismiya. Why jumla ismiya? Because it is beginning with ism alam. The word Allah here is ism alam, all right, and it is present in the beginning. And we can identify this entire structure as jumla ismiya because there, as you might have noticed, that there is no fragment between these two words. All right, so the word Allah and Nuru do not form any fragment. They do not form Mawsuf, Sifa, Jar, Majrur, the Musaf fragments, or Ismul Ishara and your Musharun Ilay. All right, there is no fragment identified between these two. So what happens if such a situation arises? We simply put or imagine an imaginary auxiliary verb between these two words. All right, so that means that it is a sentence. So Allah is Nuru Samavati, and here the word Nuru is light. That means that it doesn't have the ending na sound, and it is without al. So it it appears that it could be a muzaf. How do we confirm that? We look at the next word. Is it jar? Yet it is. Yes, it is. So this is actually your muzaf fragment. Nuru Samavati, light of the skies. Okay. So Allah is the light of the skies and the earth or the land. Okay, well, earth. So that's what. Okay, now we have analyzed our sentence. Now let's come to the terminologies. This thing, the connecting word, is called harf ataf. All right, and the word or the portion, all right, before harf ataf is called matuf alayh. All right, here, and if it is after the harf ataf, then that portion is called matuf. All right, here it is. Now if you're not too comfortable using these two words, then you can very easily remember them as pre-ataf and post-ataf. Okay, so here this is your pre-ataf word and this is your post-ataf word. Okay, and another thing that you need to remember is that the i'rab of the post-ataf word is going to be dictated by the i'rab of the pre-ataf word. So here this is jar, all right, because it's muzaf ilayh. Therefore the post-ataf word is also jar. Okay, so that's what you need to remember. Okay, now we are going to have a detailed discussion about the 10 haruf ataf that we have. All right, but before going to that discussion, I would want you to focus on this chart because this is the summary of the entire topic. Okay, so I'm going to discuss it very briefly and then we will move on to the uh, to the individual discussion, inshallah. Okay, so first of all, you can see that there are three basic groups of haruf ataf. All right, now once again, these groupings have been not mentioned in any textbook. All right, they are arbitrarily. I have grouped all 10 of these according to some similarities that I found between them. Okay, so first of all, you have and or then group. Next one is contradictory group. Third one is either or group. Okay, all right, now first of all, let's have a look at and then group. Okay, we have three members over here: wa, fa, and summa. Okay, and wa means and. Fa has three different meanings. Okay, for example, it is used for confirmation, for uh, for being translated as thus or therefore, as a result of which, okay, so, all right, so these are various usages. And then it is used for then, or immediately then, or soon after then. Okay, we are going to discuss these differences shortly. Okay, and then we have summa. Summa also means then, but there is some delay between the pre-ataf and the post-ataf portions. Okay, however, the chronological sequence of these two portions remains intact. I'll tell you what it means. Okay, but at this moment, just remember that there are three members for add and then group. Okay, then you have the contradictory group in which we have this thing. We have la, bal, hatta, and lakin. Okay, so I've mentioned the analogy, the English analogies over here. All right, so these structures are going to be useful for you to translate these things, inshallah. Okay, so for example, la is used when you want to say it rained, not snowed. Okay, or if you want to use the negatives portion first, then you can say it did not rain but snowed. Okay, so that's how you're going to differentiate between la and lakin. That in la, you're going to mention the correct information in the pre-ataf portion, and you're going to mention the wrong information in the post-ataf portion. All right, but if you want to use lakin, then you will have to use the wrong information first in the pre-ataf portion, and then you will have to negate it by using but. All right, and that would be in your post-ataf region. All right, so the post-ataf portion is going to have your correct information if you want to use lakin. Okay, and that's what. All right, now hatta in bal, this is something that we are going to discuss in the individual section. All right, in the individual discussion. All right, so it did not rain, for example, it did not rain but snowed. And here I'm going to say it rained, not snowed. Okay, so you can see the difference between these two. All right, then we have the either or group. Now you can remember just one thing about this group, and it simply is the fact that they are going to be used in various combinations or various structures of either or. Now, what are different ways of using or either or? You could either use them as either or you could use them as whether or if it's a negative sentence, then neither nor. Okay, you could also form sentences. Is this a cat or a dog, for example? Okay, or so we have this one here. Where did it go? Yeah. Okay, did it snow or rain? So you're going to ask questions regarding this thing. Okay, so if you just remember the simple fact that this either or group simply means either or, and it comes in different flavors and in different structures, then that would be enough. Okay, all the possible structures have been mentioned here just for an ease. Okay, so that's what. All right, so there are three members: o, imma. Okay, o, imma. Now, what the information present below this blue line is something that comes from an advanced stage. Okay, but I decided to include this thing here in this lesson because when I was learning Arabic and I was first taught this topic, I wanted to know more. All right, so I wanted to know what exactly was the difference between o, and imma. How do we differentiate between them? Because there has to be some difference. If we are using three different words for this either or, then there has to be some difference, and there indeed was. And for finding out these differences, I googled a lot, I browsed a lot, I wasted a lot of time. All right, so if there is someone out there who wants to know the subtle differences between o, and imma, they can try and understand this fact. Okay, otherwise it's totally all right if you don't want to remember this. Okay, just remember either or group has three members: imma, o, and they come with various structures of either or. or whether or simply or. Okay, so we all know how to use either or. It doesn't really require any explanation or something. Okay, we'll come to this comparison part afterwards. Okay, but let's begin our main lesson, in which we are going to discuss each of these separately, inshallah. Okay, so first of all, we have it means and, all right, and the sequence of pre-ataf and the post-ataf has no implication. What do I mean by that? For example, if we have a sentence, if we have the sentence Nasara Hamidun wa Zaidun, here it means that Hamid and Zaid helped. It does not matter who helped first. All right, so maybe Zaid helped first, okay, and Hamid helped after him, but Zaid helped him. So it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's what wa means, that it doesn't matter who helped first. Okay, however, if you want to specify that who helped first and who helped next, then you can use fa or summa. Okay, so but what's the difference between fa and summa? All right, let's come here. So first of all, we have our fact that the sequence of the pre-ataf and the post-ataf remains intact. The thing that I mentioned in the chart was that the chronological sequence of pre and the post-ataf remains the same. Okay, so this holds true in fa as well as summa. Okay, so the pre-ataf portion happened first and the post-ataf portion happened second. So Nasara Hamidun fa Zaidun. So Hamid helped first and Zaid helped second. However, there's a very tiny difference between fa and summa, that if you're using fa, then the action that took place in the post-ataf portion happened with almost no delay. Okay, so you could see, you could a very shallow translation of this thing would be that Hamid helped, then Zaid helped. All right. However, the subtle point is that immediately after that, Zaid helped. Okay. So not only did Zaid help after Hamid's help, but Zaid's help also happened right after or immediately after Hamid's help. Okay, so that's what you need to understand. Immediately after or immediately thereafter. Okay, so I hope that this tiny little difference is clear. So Hamid helped, then immediately after that, Zaid helped. What happens in Summa? In Summa, there is some kind of delay. Okay, so the chronological sequence remains the same. Pre-ataf portion happened first, the post-ataf portion happened second, but with considerable or some delay, or simply delayed then. Okay, so Nasara Hamidun Summa Zaidun would mean that first Hamid helped, then after some delay, Zaid helped. Okay, so this is the subtle point that you need to know about Summa and Fa. Okay, now what are the other two meanings of Fa? They are here for confirmation and for showing some result, that resultantly, consequently, as a result of which, then, thus, therefore, so. All right, all of these show the result of something happening. All right, and of course it can also be used for confirmation. For example, in this example. Okay, so what do we see here? We see that qul innal mawta allazi, you can translate this now. Okay, tufiruna minhu, tafiruna minhu fa innahu mulaqikum. So it means that say or tell them, indeed the death, the one from which all of you flee, will most definitely meet all of you. This is how you're going to interpret it as. Now these things, once you know these things, of course you're going to be able to translate or apply these things very logically with the context. All right, so it's all context dependent. You just need to know these things and then things will come to you naturally. All right, we have done Summa. Let's come to the other group now. It is La, first of all. So as I told you briefly in the chart, the summary chart above, I told you that you're going to use La as a harufata, and then it's going to be used as not. Okay, so you are first going to mention the correct information in the pre-ataf portion. okay, and then you're going to mention the wrong information in the post-Ataff portion. So Nasara Zaidun la Hamidun. It would mean that Zaid helped, not Hamid. Okay, so it rained, not snowed. Okay, I slept, not watched movies. Okay, so that's what. So you're going to mention the correct information first in the pre-Ataff one, and then you're going to mention the wrong information in the post-Ataff portion. Okay, and of course you are not going to have any preceding negative statement, okay, because you're mentioning the correct information in the pre-Ataff portion. That is your law. However, if you want to apply or employ rather a different approach, okay, because there are different ways of saying the same things, aren't they? So if you want to say uh, if you want to say the same thing but in a different manner, you could use lakin. How? You could mention the wrong information first in the pre-Ataff portion, and then you could tell the audience about the true information or correct information in the post-Ataff portion. Okay, so not Hamid, but Zaid helped. Okay, it's the same thing, but you're using a different way of telling it. All right, so ma nasara, ma means no or not. Okay, so ma nasara Hamidun lakin Zaidun. Not Hamid, but Zaid helped. So what do you see? You see that you're mentioning the wrong information first, and then you're negating that wrong information in the post-Ataff portion by using but. Okay, so analogy in English sentence would be, it did not snow but rained. Okay, and of course you can see that since we are mentioning the wrong information in the pre-Ataff portion, it's going to require a preceding negative statement. Okay, so that's what. Next we have bal. Bal is a very interesting harf. It means nay, or rather, or in fact. Okay, now look at this sentence. For example, I was told that Zaid helped. No, not at all. Instead, Hamid helped him. Okay, so what do you see? You see that there is a certain kind of stress present, all right, that it was actually Hamid who helped a certain someone, and it was rumored that Zaid helped him. So you have to have a powerful negation. Okay, so that's what you do. And if you want to put an even stronger stress, then you can join it with kalla. All right, so kalla bal would be a super stressed form. Absolutely not. Rather, this happened. Okay, so once again, for bal, you're going to mention the wrong part first. All right, you're going to mention the wrong or the wrong information pre-atafli, all right, and then in the post-ataf portion, you're going to mention the correct information. That's what you're going to do. Okay, so in English, what do you say? You say that it snowed? Not at all. Instead, it rained. Okay, so these are very simple sentences. You can make millions of those yourselves. Okay, just to get the idea. Similarly, I ate. Not at all. Rather, I'm still hungry. Okay, so that's what. Kalla bal la tukrimunal yatima. Absolutely not. Rather, all of you don't respect the orphan. Okay, so there has to be some preceding information over here, but it's not mentioned here. Okay, so and that's the reason, or that's the sentence, or that's the portion that is being negated over here. Okay, that's what. I hope that this is also clear. And then we have hatta. This is the last of our contradictory group. Hatta. It means, well, it means a lot of things, but the most commonly used thing is even. Okay, so first I have a sample sentence for you. For example, the ER staff, the emergency room, okay, the ER staff and the doctors couldn't treat him. Even the consultants couldn't save him. So, do you see? Here it would be used as hatta. Even the consultants couldn't save him. So, it's going to put a lot of stress. All right? So that's what, even. Okay, for example, matan nasu hatal ambiyau. People die, even the prophets. All right, so even the greatest of men die. Okay, And yeah, one little thing about it is that it often combines with ma, which means what, right? We've already done it, and it becomes hatama. Okay, and then the alif gets chucked off and it becomes hatama. It means till when. Okay, so I hope that hatta is also clear. Now we are off to the last group, either or group. First of all, we have then we have o, and then we have ima. And I told you that if you want to remember just one thing about them, just remember that it is either or. Okay, and it could come in various different forms. You are just going to be able to tell apart uh, all various forms. All right, you will be able to do it if you simply remember either or, and if you know what are the various forms of the usage of either or in English, then of course you'll be able to apply the same knowledge to Arabic as well, inshallah. Okay, however, here I'm going to mention some commonly used structures, okay, so that you can understand it better, inshallah. Okay, now once again, the comments in blue simply mean that you don't need to know them. This is just for those people who would want to know the subtle differences between um, 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 Imma, and O. Okay, so if you want to know, and you can learn this thing and then apply it. And if you don't want to know, it's perfectly all right. Okay, but the things that I tell you to know, you must know those things at least. Okay, the portion in blue does not need to be memorized at all. And secondly, if you know it, then you can you'll know when to apply what thing. It comes naturally once you know these things. Or if you just know about them briefly, that these things exist, then these things would come to you naturally when you start applying them. Okay, so you don't need to worry. Okay. um what is about simply means either or so, or whether or. It can be also used for this, that is it a cat or a dog. Okay, did it not rain, or did I not tell you to do this or this? All right, so these are kind of negating questions. You'll spot them, okay, on your own. It doesn't matter. Just know that these forms exist. Now the speaker knows that one of the options is true but isn't sure which one is true. Okay, so for example, if I say anasara hamidun am zaidun, I'm actually asking who helped. Did Hamid help or Zaid? Okay, now the speaker knows that one of these two options is correct, that one of these two people helped, but doesn't know which one. Okay, or doesn't show which one. Okay, so that's what. Now this alif, or rather this hamza, is called hamza istifhamia. Don't worry. All right, just simply remember this as the questioning hamza. Okay, because that's how you use that's how you make questions in Arabic. Okay, so is it a cat or a dog? You're going to use this hamza istifhamia over here, the questioning hamza. Okay, and we are going to form questions in this section after a couple of lessons. Okay, so you don't need to cram this information. Just remember that you are doing oh, imma right here and right now, and it's about either or and its flavors. Okay, all right, the next one is anzartahum am lam tunzirhum. Now here, of course, you're not going to use this formation, but you're going to use this one. It is obvious. Okay, so you're going to say whether you want them or do not want them. Okay, that's what. Then hal tastawi zulumatu wan nur. Are light and darkness similar? Of course not. Okay, and this is a kind of a rhetoric question. Okay, so you are going to spot these things because you know what they mean now. These are just various examples. All right, then you have oh. Now, once again, it means either or. It could be either to express a doubt. For example, they said, qalu, they said, labisna, we stayed, yawman, a day, oh, or baza yawmin, or for part of a day, or a part of a day. Okay, so or rather, the speaker is expressing doubt. Okay, so this is what. So did we stay for this much time or this much time? So you see, once again, or. All right. So this is what. Now here there are two implications, and this is something that is included or rather involved or deals with the advanced Arabic. Okay, but just so that it is clear for those who want to know the subtle difference. The speaker doesn't know which of the two options is true or correct. Okay, so here of course the person, the speaker, doesn't know which one is correct. Okay, and that's what he expresses. So it shows doubt. Okay, the second implication is, and once again they do not occur together. Okay, these two implications cannot occur in a sentence together, rather they need to have different context, of course. Okay, so another context could be that the speaker has certainty about the pre-ataf part. All right, so he's sure about the yawman part, but he's not too sure about the baza yawman part. Okay, so the speaker knows that one of these two options is correct, but doesn't know which one. All right, so that's what. And of course, neither nor can also be used here, and that would of course mean a negative sentence. Okay, simple or. Okay, did this happen or this? Okay, and either do this or this. Okay, so you're giving the other person an option. Now this O is also used for simple classification. For example, here, al-kalimatu ismun aw fi'lun aw harfun. A word is either a noun, a verb, or a harf. Right? Now, the implications that I mentioned in blue are, of course, not going to be applicable over here. Okay, so it all depends on the context, as I keep on saying in almost every lesson. Okay, and here you're giving the person an option. So read a page or two. Okay, safataini, 2 pages. Okay, and wow, this is the last one. Imma. Once again, either or. Could also be neither nor or simple or. Okay, and once again, it all depends on the context, and you will be able to tell them apart. Don't worry. Just remember either or and the various structures of using them. Okay, now an implication about this imma is that the speaker has doubts in the pre-ataf portion as well as the post-ataf part. Okay, I'll tell you what it means up in the summary chart right now. So Nasara imma Hamidun wa imma Zaidun. Either Hamid helped or Zaid. Okay, so the speaker is expressing his doubts in both of these reasons, in both of these parts. So the pre-ataf as well as the post-ataf portions are doubtful to him. He doesn't know about him. Okay, so these were our haruf ataf. I hope that they are clear to you, inshallah. And of course, if you need more clarification on any part, of course, just let me know and I'll try and make them simpler. Okay, now we are done with this, aren't we? So sequence of the pre and post ataf doesn't matter. Now you understand this part, and then you also understand that summa is delayed then and wa is immediate or soon after then. Okay, chronological sequence of pre and post ataf remains the same, or rather the intact. Okay, so if something is mentioned pre ataf, it did happen first, and the post ataf portion happened after the pre ataf one. Okay, but this thing does not apply here when you're using va. Okay, and fa is also used for thus and confirmation. All right, then we have contradictory group, in which you are going to have four members: la, lakin, hatta, and bal. In la, you're going to mention the correct information first. Okay, and then you're going to mention the wrong information after the harfataf. Okay, in lakin, you're going to first mention the wrong information and then you're going to negate it with the right information by using but. Okay, and then you're going to use bal if you want to put some stress. Okay, so first of all, of course, you're going to use the wrong information. You're going to mention the wrong information and then you're going to negate it by not at all, rather this happened. Okay, this is how you're going to interpret the usage of bal. Hatta means even. Okay, so even I don't know, there are many sentences. Okay, so now you know what the concept is. Form a sentence with this hatta. Okay, next you have either or group. Last one. Okay, so you have imma, oh, and these are just various structures that you can just, form various sentences with. Even in English, all right, you'll be able to work these things out. So just remember either or, okay, and then you'll be able to spot the next ones yourself. Now, very brief discussion about this part. Once again, if you don't want to know this thing, perfectly fine. But if you want to know, uh, it's a very shallow, or you could say it's a very brief introduction, okay? Because once you know these things, you'll be able to apply them yourself in various situations. But uh, here it is. All right, so you have o versus imma, and then o versus okay. Now first let's do this thing. So what happens in imma? If you have used imma, then there is going to be doubt in the pre-ataff as well as post-ataff portions of the sentence. All right, so the doubt remains in pre-ataff as well as post-ataff. But in o, the person is sure about the pre-ataff, that this thing is true, or he has complete information about pre-ataff. All right, there is doubt only in the post-ataff region, or the post-ataff portion of the sentence. Okay. All right, I hope that this is clear. Next, and I'm not giving any examples because there are loads of examples and you'll be able to come across them in the Quran, in the Musaf yourself. Okay, so just by knowing this little fact, you will be able to work these things out, inshallah. All right, next, you're going to use if the person has information, or he knows about the pre-ataff or the post-ataff. All right, but he still inquires because he's not sure that which one is true. All right, so for example, if somebody is asking that did Z help or Hamid help, all right, but if you've used then this means that out of Z and Hamid, you know that somebody has helped, but you're not sure if it is Hamid or Z. Okay, but if you use O, then that would mean that you don't know if either of these helped. All right, so you don't know if any of these two people helped. Okay, they could not have helped perhaps, or they could have helped, you're not sure. Okay, but in you know that out of Z and Hamid, somebody already has helped, but you're not sure which one. Okay, so that's what inquires about pre-ataff and post-ataff, because he doesn't know about these two. But in the person knows that out of pre and post-ataff, some one of these two is correct, but which one it is, I don't know. Okay, so that is when you are going to use okay, now these are very subtle points, and of course this is the advanced stuff. If you don't understand it yet, do not worry, because the more you read, the more the more you consult, of course, is going to improve your vocabulary, is going to improve your reading skills. All right, so you will be able to work these things out someday, inshallah. Okay, so if you don't understand it right now, it's totally fine. And however, I do hope that I was able to get these facts across successfully. Okay, so I hope that this lesson is clear, and of course, if you need any more clarification regarding anything, you can always reach out to me, and I'll try to make it simpler still. In the next lesson, inshallah, we're going to cover the fail. Well, not everything, just the suffixes and the tips to identify this. Okay, and I'll see you in the next lesson. In the meanwhile, I would ask you to keep on practicing and to memorize these haruf ataf. Okay, they can come in handy. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'anil Hakim. Allah Hafiz.